I was at my local fly shop and I actually found these hooks on super sale. These are jig heads and they're a size 10 and they're just super fun to kind of experiment with. I just kind of invented this little, actually I probably didn't invent it. I bet you many people have tied this exact same fly, but this is the first time I'd ever really thought of it. I'm calling it the Perch candy. So put it in your vise and get yourself some thin thread. I'm using 140. I probably would do it with 70. I just didn't happen to have any at the time. I'm using a brown. I'm going to end up using a color called root beer and gold. So brown pretty much works. Once you've got your thread all the way to the back of the hook, you're going to take this material called Pearl Core Braid, and it's the root beer color. And I got mine from Hairline, but Simperfly has a really cool one too, also called root beer, that's a little bit different. And in this one, I don't like this one as much. I like the color of this one better and the girth better, but what I don't like as much is that when you burn the tip, it's got thread in there instead of plastic, and so it burns instead of melts. So this one's a lot harder to make the end kind of be a cone shape. So you'll have to experiment with it. But once you've got that material tied on, make sure you really secure everything to the shank. And then we are going to get the dubbing. That's the golden brown ice dubbing. I love this stuff. So you're going to make a dubbing noodle. And I don't do anything special like use wax or anything. I'll just take a little bit and twist it only in one direction on the thread. And then you're going to take it all the way back to the base of where that tail is. And you're going to tie in your saddle hackle. Use a couple of wraps, tie it in, and then put another doubling noodle if you don't have enough left over from before. Wrap that up tight, and then walk it all the way back up the hook until right behind the weight. I usually leave a little bit of space so that it's easier to glue in, and sometimes like you'll put in some eyes or something, but this is really just a super straightforward, simple, like 3-ingredient fly that pretty much anyone can tie, and it will definitely catch fish. This thing is super fishy. I usually give it a couple more wraps. I'm trying to pin the hair backwards on it so that it kind of looks like it's angled backwards more. I'll do 2 loop finishes, cut off that, and then we're going to put on some super glue. You can use any kind of glue or head cement or UV resin. I've just got the super glue, and that's it. That's the Perch candy. Super easy to tie, super fun to fish. Thanks for watching. So I came out to fish Town Lake with the purpose of using the Perch candy just to see how effective it would be, and turns out it was about as effective of a fly as I've ever used to fish on this lake. I think I caught 15 fish in about an hour and a half. This fish right here is a bass. I saw a bunch of bass under this tree. I just kept throwing it, and they kept going for it. So I like to fish this fly underneath tree cover for this body of water, and what I'll look for is a tree that's reaching over the water anywhere between 5 and 10 feet. Some of these will fall off the bank as it erodes and then angle out, and then I think just bugs and all kinds of stuff fall off of the trees into the water all the time. So the fish are always looking up, and so it's a great place to fish stuff that's on top of the water, but also something like this that'll sink slowly but that looks so buggy and fishy. And so I was just fishing right under these trees, and I didn't even travel that much at the bank because I was in my belly boat. I was using flippers to paddle so that I could fish with my hands while also going from side to side. And I mean, I just caught so many fish. It was so much fun. I'm using a tenkara rod, which also makes it really fun because it's a really light rod that even if you're catching small fish, you have to fight them all the way in, which is fun. And it's great too because it simplifies everything to where you're making a lot more casts. And so if you're fishing small flies, especially in a body of water that's mainly bass and perch, you're probably going to want to use a tenkara rod or a 3-weight because you're probably not going to catch the big fish that most of the guys are posting about, especially not on Town Lake. It's funny, a lot of the fishermen I run into, they're catching humongous bass, and every once in a while I'll get a really big bass, but I'm just as content to catch these little guys on these flies. It's a ton of fun fishing this lake. If you like this video, please subscribe and give me a like. Also, let me know in the comments how you think I could improve my videos or my fly ties. Thanks so much for watching.